Alright, what's going on, y'all? Survival's back again, and I'm here joined with the boy.
BBS World Champion 7 times because I just pulled Uryu. Come on.
Oh, you got Odoo?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh? How deep did you have to go for it? Or was it from tickets?
Nah, I had to go deep.
Oh, damn.
But I got also part 2, so we're good.
Okay, is the video coming out?
Nah, it was desperate. It was down bad summons.
Yeah, trust, I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my second Ichigo, and I'm not proud of how deep I had to go. Alright, so the point of this video is pretty much just to talk about, like, where K-Lab went wrong with this anniversary. We were just talking about this, but we do believe that they can still rectify everything and bring it back to be, like, the best. Because we were talking about the lead up. The lead up for this anniversary, honestly, was probably, like, the best lead up I've ever seen.
It was amazing.
And, yeah.
Great. I got the tech going chappy. I've been hunting for that for years. I finally got it. So it was already to a great start.
Yeah, and I've seen so many people from, like, the free multis. I saw one person come out with, like, 6 gold accessories, which is absolutely insane, and K-Lab's never done that. They've increased the rates for the orb summons too. They added the ×10 tickets, and K-Lab, in good old K-Lab fashion, drops the ball.
Fumbled hard.
Yeah. And
Big fumble.
yeah, so I guess we could start with the point event.
Oh, where do we begin with that, fam? So my opinion is, it's like, I think most people would agree. If it's not broken, don't change it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And in this case, the two big things, let's just more specifically on the point event, was something that people were looking forward to. We made videos talking about, you know, save soul tickets for this particular event. This is the event to go ham on if you want to get a bunch of Brave Soul Summon tickets, stuff like that. And then to see it be worse than the usual point event, definitely disappointing.
Yeah, I saw the point difference, and the point difference went from Swimsuit Part 2 was 180k per 12 soul tickets, and this point event is about 140k per times 12 tickets, right? And that's a big difference. That's literally like a 33% increase, like decrease from what it could have been. So like 140 to 180 is roughly like 30%. I don't want to go too deep into the numbers, but not only did they maybe not quote unquote messed it up, but they haven't really talked about why that is. Like, for all we know, the boosted point event might be round 2. Could be, but since they don't voice what's going down until it goes down, which I understand why a gacha game would do that, because the more impulse, the more reason they give to impulse spend, the better their pockets end up getting packed up, right? So point event worse than it normally is. They might be able to rectify that, but I mean, that's we don't even know. They won't even acknowledge it, which is kind of annoying.
That's the sad thing, especially because it's an anniversary. Even if our complaints were hypothetically wrong, right? Let's say we're complaining for nothing. They should still address it, right? Because it is an anniversary. You want the player base to be happy, even if a small portion is upset about it. A message on Discord, you know, is enough. They don't have to even put it in game. Just say something, and I guess they still could, because we are going to get dev comments at the end of the month. But you know, they're leaving it for a bit too long. I feel like they should have probably addressed it on Monday, which was yesterday.
Yeah, well, we'll get into the dev diary and later on in this video. So the choose a 6-star, I think they fumbled the bag on that. I think that everyone can agree.
Yeah, man. I'm also a victim of that change too. Not the Upper Kichigo one. Obviously, you know, Upper Kichigo Aizen aren't included in there. That also sucks too. But by them cutting off 6 months worth of characters, it meant that I wasn't guaranteed a new character. And as a result, I got a duplicate Bankai Kaku, which I don't mind, but at the same time, you know, had they just put the characters that were supposed to be in there, I would have gotten 75 orbs in a new character.
Yeah, I think
I'm a victim of that change, to be honest.
When I saw their tweet, I'm like, all right, people should do this choose a 6-star now. So, of course, it's like now people want to blame me, but one thing that I've noticed with this new lead developer, Issa, his compensation is probably the worst compensation I've ever seen. For those that don't remember, back in the day, compensation for Inheritance Zone, they rectified 6 months worth of soul tickets. I think I got a total of like 900, which is absolutely insane back then, because back then we didn't even have ×5 runs, right? Like that wasn't a thing. So them compensating so many tickets was like just mad. The special move source compensation, the compensation, it might not have been, you know, great for everyone, but for the most part, they, in my opinion, made an active effort to really compensate players for their mess ups. And I don't see them doing that anymore. We still don't have Uryu compensation 2 years later. The joke is that this new Uryu is compensation for that. The Kisuke compensation was probably the most abysmal thing. I don't think they should have given orbs back. Like, that might be a hot take. Like, personally, even if I feel like it was mad obvious that it was unintended. But I was still summoning because he was just a busted character regardless. Like, I would have summoned anyways. They didn't have to make him, like, fake broken for me to summon. But the fact that they didn't give compensation to everyone and they only gave it to people who did a specific action. Like, if you test played the character, went to go take a dump and your game restarted and then you summoned, you were not compensated. So I felt like that was kind of messed up. I feel like if you're gonna compensate people, anyone who test played the character should have gotten compensation.
Yeah, or just 500 orbs to everyone that summons, really. I mean, that would have been like the best world, or best case scenario, because then no one gets treated unfairly, right? I don't think many people pulled with the assumption he was supposed to be like that, but there definitely was people like that, and just the best way to be fair was just to compensate everyone, right?
Yeah, I agree. Another thing was the what's his last compensation? The Spirit Society Ichigo compensation. I think everyone got, was it 5 or 25 orbs?
25 if you owned him.
Yeah, so
it was same with Giriko, by the way. It happened to Giriko too.
Yeah, but based on the compensation that we would have gotten back in the day, would have probably been every single soul ticket or a soul ticket for every single run that you've ever done with that character. Which they have done that before. I forget which character was messed up, but they did that before. I'm kind of spacing. I don't have like all the stuff with me right now, but yeah. So choose a 6-star, kind of just fumbled it. I would have been fine if they added the Aizen and Ichigo. I personally think cutting out the 6 months worth of characters is scuffed, like super scuffed. And I honestly didn't believe that they were going to do something like that, especially after like everyone gets a free 5-star accessory. Like, I thought that was super generous. So I'm like, they're not just going to like take everything away. Like, I couldn't believe it, to be honest.
That's the biggest part of the anniversary too. Like, again, like we mentioned, even if later on they do have a big come around and they actually do finish this anniversary with a bang, this part, the biggest part they messed up on, is the start of the anniversary in it. So just those things you don't mess up on.
Yeah, and oh my god, it was such a good lead up, even down to the Bankai live stream, like showing the characters off, and
more orbs from that too. We had like 155.
Yeah, thanks to the JP chat on YouTube for helping Morita-san.
Yeah, they were struggling. Jeez.
Yeah, he was so funny. Dude, you saw he was just like, he's like, here? No, here? It was so good. Alright, so the actual 7th anniversary banner, the banner format, that's currently 6 years old. Which I still think is crazy, considering all the updates that we've gotten. We've gotten the 25 steps guaranteed, the quote-unquote A banner character, the 10 steps for like a featured, like the 5, 10, 15, 20. So what are your thoughts on that one?
It sucks because, and we know why they do it, right? They do it because you get to the end point so quick. It's literally 7 steps. You're just dipping your toe in at that point. It's hard for people just to stop. I've never stopped at step 7, right? I mean,
yeah, I've tried.
It just started. It's just started. I can't just stop then. So you end up spending significantly more orbs than you plan to, right? Because if it was a 25-step banner, if I got unlucky, but I did all 25 steps, that's a stopping point.
Yeah.
So they do it because it's the way to get us, right? Again, it sucks too because it's the anniversary. It should be the best banner. The banner is still great, right? Don't get me wrong, but the step up definitely is disappointing, and we kind of accepted it at this point. But also, it's kind of sad to see that it's happening more often outside of anniversaries, as the Shira's banner had that too.
Oh my god, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, so that's not something to look forward to if they start doing that for like 1,000-year Blood Bowl banners that aren't any.
And we were supposed to get a speed move source, right?
That was the speed one. Because I think last year we got power.
When last year we got power? Was it power or was it mind?
I don't know, but we definitely had power recently. Speed should have been next.
Oh right, we got mind with Bruno, I think. I might be tripping. I don't know. We don't get enough for me to remember.
Yeah, we just didn't get a speed one. That's all we know.
Yeah, maybe we'll get that in like 3 months or something.
Should be in it because that makes sense why they did it. They don't want to give us a free dupe for you basically. But,
they want to make sure. They want to make sure Gino goes another 10,000 orbs for a character like.
For that last dupe.
Yeah, dude, I remember you said that. Was it last year? No. It was for 5th anniversary Ichigo. I think he pulled like 15 Ichigos before he got his like 3rd or 4th Byakuya. It was disgusting. And that was after he 5-5'd his Ichigo because he used move sources preemptively. Just kind of sad. Alright, so next up on the list is the Dev Diary.
they got to be paying attention to the Japanese fan base only because
was the Japanese fan base all positive too? Like, did they not
gotta be, bro? Gotta be. I mean, we can't see, right? I don't. Yeah, I don't. Up to date with that, but there's no way.
I don't speak it or read it, so it's kind of hard to really gauge that side. But I know that the French weren't happy with it. I personally wasn't happy with it. I'm assuming most people weren't happy with it, and for them to just the Discord
blew up secondly. Like the second anniversary started, it just went off. And
then as soon as they decided to say the 7th anniversary was well received, I think that triggered me, and I was because it's like there's so many issues. Like I don't understand where you see that it's completely well received, like because they didn't make any. I mean it's for investors, right? Like for them to see like, oh yeah, this is how it's going, and then that's what they read. Like the investors aren't gonna be like, oh, let me play the gacha game that's making money, you know? Like they don't care as long as it's printing money. That's all they care about. So what was your overall thoughts? Like,
well, Dev Diaries, I enjoy me a good Dev Diary, right? It's always it's fun to read it, especially because the person that writes it, right? You can tell they're passionate about the game. It makes you feel good, right? It's because it's more personal. You know, we get the dev comments every month, but that's just more so just telling us about the updates. The Dev Diary literally is a diary. It felt good reading this one, but then even then, just the fact that they said well received and the fact they weren't addressing the issues that people are having, it's kind of like,
honestly, for me, everything but that well received was 100% fine. Like I was like I had no complaints with anything else. Just that well received, just kind of like it's just like really, like the Choose a 6-star was a flop. The anniversary like actual banner being the same banner as, I mean, and like you said, we've kind of like personally I've gotten used to it, but for like new players joining the game, I don't know many people that are legit happy with it unless they got super lucky. And for those that didn't get lucky and those that didn't pull these new characters, you're kind of stuck in this huge limbo of FOMO, right? It's like, okay, cool, it's a shove in my face that I didn't pull the anniversary character. You go into arena and it's just you getting hit with paralysis and weakening nonstop.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like even if you're Uryu, it's just like you don't want to play with Uryu either because you're just gonna get paralyzed and weakened too because he's not immune. So it's just ridiculous. So I feel like that's kind of messed up, and I don't think you can really give your characters immunity either unless they have an Ichigo on the party too. That way, like, there's some complete shared immunity, which that in and of itself is kind of messed up. So. I don't know. Personally, I was happy with the lead up. Not too happy with how it's going. They could fix it, but we'll see what's up. And last thing is like the questionnaire. Now I saw you posted your video. I watched that as I was like driving to get my groceries.
Questionnaire this year was it was different. There was a lot of open-ended questions, which I'm not sure was good or bad, but there was definitely a lack of specific questions about certain game modes. You know, last year we had how to make arena better, how to make epic raids better. None of those changes actually happened yet, but you know, it would have been nice to see more specific questions regarding certain game modes, just to see how we could get better. This time around, it was mostly just how do you feel about the state of the game, really, is what the question there was to me.
Honestly, as you were reading the questions, because I did watch your video, and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, I kind of like that, because they're kind of
a good bad thing in it.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're kind of forced to like take the time to hear the perspective of the player.
Yeah.
Where like if I tell you which tie should I wear, red or blue, it's like, okay, red. It's like, okay, cool. They want red. They want lots of red. Here it's like, what color? What kind of tie would you like? It's like, okay, cool. I want a bow tie with, you know, bananas on it, and I also want it to be purple. Like, okay, cool. It's a lot more descriptive, or at least you have the opportunity to be a bit more descriptive. And they also added the possibility of collaborations, which
that was interesting.
Yeah, but it also kind of bugs me because KLab knows that. Well, I don't know if they still watch our channels, but I know for a fact that like the people that they've fired or let go, however you want to put it, used to actually like watch our content and would literally bring us up sometimes on the live stream. So it's kind of unfortunate to see all the people that we actually had somewhat of a connection with just completely gone within a year. Within a month. Like, I think, yeah, Matthew didn't really care for Bleach, which is fine. You know, like I don't think that everyone should care for every IP. Like, I know people that, you know, work their job and don't necessarily care for, you know, the stuff that they're selling, which I personally think is wrong, especially when you're like the marketing manager or whatever he was. He was like he was like the leader of them, right?
Yeah, the big guy.
Yeah, but like he moved on, you know, bless him, you know what I'm saying? But we also had like Dora and Alex and Alberto and these people, like, you know, everyone has their own like hidden dark, whatever you want to call it, but for the most part it seemed like they actually genuinely cared about the community and what we had, and it's kind of sad because we kind of lost that connection as soon as they left, and they all left within a month in January. So seeing this questionnaire, I think it could be good, but going into the collaboration stuff was really interesting to me because they did collab with HoloLive, and personally I didn't really like that. Because even though it did bring a lot of new people into the game, it kind of like was like, okay, cool, they'll work with influencers, but we're not going to work with the influencers that actively promote our game.
Yeah. It makes sense why they did that, but it would be nice to, you know, get thrown a bone every now and then, you know? Because there are examples of content creators working with the developers, and it's overall just good for the community, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you could, like, for example, if they want to have you there or something like that and be like, oh, how do you think this would be? And then just have you sign an NDA so that way you can't talk about it legally. Like, they could go after you if you, God forbid, leak something. So, but like something like that would be really cool to see, because it's like, oh yeah, this will, I was talking to Living Ichigo and we were talking about special move sources, and honestly, I feel like if they gave out more special move sources, I would probably be more inclined to summon more. Like, I'll go crazy once every maybe like 3-4 months. I think the last time I spent more than 5,000 orbs on a banner was Azashiro, and that's just because I got quote unquote lucky, right, with the, like Azashiro. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how that goes on. And you talked about the Yu Yu Hakusho possibly being a collab. Like, I'd personally love to see One Piece, but that's 100% never happening because it's Bandai, and Bandai won't even put One Piece in Dokkan during the One Piece collaboration that they had, and vice versa. So yeah, I'm interested to see how Caleb wants to do that, but yeah.
Yeah, I also bring the question, like, what do they have next planned for the game, right? Because also we kind of mentioned this, we talked about it earlier. With Safari ending soon, we only basically have, potentially 3 banners left, unless they want to surprise add more characters to it. Once that's done, like, that's it for the novels, you know? And then we just have 1,000 Year Blood Wars, so maybe this is their plan for, like, more limited banners, super limited banners that they can throw in between 1,000 Year Blood War. And that's if they want to do collabs. I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't complain. I'd be down for it. It'd add more people to the game. It would get people more excited for just non-Bleach stuff. Really, I wouldn't mind.
Oh, dude, one of my top 5 videos is like an April Fool's video I did. Yeah, the Deku, like freaking My Hero Academia Deku, Ultra Instinct Goku, and Asta from.
Asta,
yeah. I didn't even. I still haven't watched that series.
I would go crazy,
like,
fam.
Yeah, and it's just like. I play Epic 7, and these people have like collabs, and even the collab units that of IPs that I don't really necessarily care about. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Guilty Gear music, but I don't necessarily have an affinity for the game itself. But like, I'll go for every single character. When Epic 7 has the Slime collab as like the Slime game came out, they had what is that other game? The ReZero collab as the ReZero game came out. They're having a Full Metal Alchemist collab as the Full Metal Alchemist game come out. And that's really good promo for another gacha game, but it's also really great promo and a lot of money and revenue that goes into like BBS. Well, that could go into BBS, I should say, but that's a lot of money that goes into like Epic 7. And the issue that I definitely see is going to be the licensing agreement and the royalties that K-Lab pays to Studio Pierrot for the license for Bleach, which that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
I don't know if you wanted to add anything else to this, because I think we just wanted to talk about the issues that this anniversary had, right? Yeah,
it's just, again, great start, could potentially have a great end, but just the anniversary itself is it's just a bit disappointing because the Choose 6 star on the point event. We have 3 times droplets, which is nice. Again, it's kind of sad because like not many people are talking about it, because like just the unfortunate truth is that they kind of just fumbled big time on those 2 big things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I do find it funny that they said that in the dev diaries. It's like, we also tripled the droplets, and I'm like, but that's a temporary thing. Like, that's not staying, is it?
Only for a week. It's only till a month.
But yeah, the way they made it sound was like, this is a quality of life change. It's just like, okay. It's a temporary quality of life change. That's like giving me a PlayStation 5 and saying, by the way, I have to return that back to Best Buy next week before my warranty runs out. Like, all right. So I mean, I guess we can close up. You have any closing thoughts?
No, that's it. Just be careful before going all in on a banner like I did, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I'm like 11,000 orbs in without. Well, actually, I mean, I did pull a second Ichigo, but like, I was like 25. I think I did a total of like maybe 8,000 orbs without even pulling a banner. I was like, yeah, not my proudest moment.
Yeah, rough this year, bro. Rough this year.
Yeah. But all right.
Part 2 though. Part 2 in 2 days, so something to look forward to.
Yeah, here's hoping for the best. Appreciate you coming on, Aaron. Envy like decided to flake again.
Envy fumbled harder than the anniversary.
And he went down to 0 orbs again. we'll see if he has enough for the end of the month banner for us. But thank you guys for listening. Appreciate y'all. Make sure to check out Aaron's channel if you haven't already. Link will be down in the description below, as always. Appreciate you, Aaron.
Appreciate you, lads.
I guess we call it good here. All right, peace out, y'all.